It doesn't matter. Up on 6. Stand by A. VO.
The Cincinnati Zoo is
Banner.
now a big sister.
Relay
The
tape.
announced 23-year-old BB gave birth last night. There's
We'll
no
tag
word
on
yet
6,
if it's
Mega
a
on
baby
B.
boy or girl, but zoo officials say the calf appears to be healthy. There was some concern when BB gave birth to Fiona 5 years ago. She was several weeks premature and unable to stand, but video released by the zoo on social media shows the new calf is
Can you update them real
already
quick? Make sure they
walking
match.
and feeding on its own. The zoo says the calf doesn't yet have a name.
Next
It says
one.
it will be bonded
Next
with
one.
mom at a view from the public for the next few weeks.
Stand by
So
6.
cute.
Dissolve 6. Stand by to add copyright.
Go see it up in
Stand by
Cincy this
B,
morning.
sound. Stand by to
4
flash.
current and former LMPD officers were arrested
Stand by B, sound.
by the FBI.
We are following the latest developments in the Breonna Taylor case. Stick with us for the news at 6.
Roll B, sound, flash.
Now on WGR
Stand by camera 2. Stand by to tween.
Today's 874 days.
Yep.
The Justice Department is charged
Okay.
with current and former.
Same thing over this
Metro
camera
Police
2
Department
shot,
officers
faded
for
out,
federal
but
crimes
just like you did in the
related
4.
to Ms. Taylor's death.
No stone. was
15.
left
Stand by
unturned.
2. Stand by to roll X.
Federal charges announced today allege that members of the Place-Based Investigations Unit falsified the affidavit used to obtain the
5.
search warrant of Ms. Taylor's
Stand by to
home.
tween.
They shouldn't have been there, and that Breonna didn't deserve that.
Roll X tween. Micah. Stand by to make your move.
874
Stand by
days, That's how
E3.
long it's been since Breonna Taylor's death. And according to U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, the officers
Make your
who conducted
move.
the raid had no idea the warrant used
Look at him at
was
2. Look at
possibly
2.
false.
Stand by
And
E3.
as everyone was waking up, the FBI arrested 4 current
Stand by
and
2,
former
dissolve.
LMPD
Good job, 2.
officers connected to the raid that killed Taylor.
Dissolve.
Take a look right here.
Stand by
Former
camera
detectives
3.
Brett Hankison and Joshua James, along with officers
Stand by 2,
Kelly
dissolve.
Goodlett and Kyle Meany,
Little
are
little
facing
tighter.
federal civil rights
Dissolve.
offenses.
Stand by to
James is
update.
accused
Stand by
of creating
A.
a draft and approving a fake affidavit to get the search warrant.
Update.
Hankison is being charged with 2 counts of rights under color law. He's the officer acquitted of state charges
Meany
for
is
shooting
next.
into Taylor's neighbor's apartment. Investigators say he shot through a covered glass door.
Update.
Meany is accused of making a false statement
Last-
to
one
federal
more, Goodlet.
investigators. He's accused of knowing the affidavit, had misleading statements, and took out material facts.
We'll stay here.
Goodlet
Stand
has
by A.
conspiracy
Stand by 2,
charges.
dissolve.
She's
Stand by
accused
A,
of covering
sound.
up the officer's actions.
Relay sound is off.
WDRB's Travis Ragsdale has been investigating this case since March of 2020. Travis, tell
Stand
us
by
how all 4
super.
of these officers are connected, and why is Joshua James at the center of it all?
All of these officers were connected
Stand by
to the
super.
raid in some form or fashion.
Add super.
3 of them had to do with the warrant itself. Another was
Lose
actually
super.
at
Investigate
the raid.
corner.
Joshua James
Keep
is
the-
officer
I need a
who ultimately
dramatic
got
corner
this warrant
coming
and
up.
was the officer who signed
Lighting.
off on it. His partner, Kelly Goodlet, is also indicted.
Camera 3 needs
in
to be
this case,
will be a
along
2
with
shot.
his
Camera 2 will get a stack
sergeant, Kyle
OTS.
Meany. All 3
And
of
then
those
camera 1 will go to the
officers
weather
are
center.
indicted for things related
During Mark's
specifically to that
weather,
search warrant.
that's when we'll
And
reset the
prosecutors
LEDs.
say putting false information in that warrant
Check
that
camera
led
6.
to the raid on Taylor's apartment. Hankinson, Brett Hankinson, you've probably heard that name before, is charged with firing shots into Breonna Taylor's apartment that prosecutors say he fired blindly, Chris.
You know, a lot of people on social media today have been asking, why now? Why is this happening now?
2 and 3,
Investigations
great
take a long
job. 2
time,
and 3,
right?
great job.
Prosecutors have been looking at this from a federal level since May of 2020. It's just taken a long time to get all of this information together to get to this point to now charging these officers.
If convicted, how long are we talking here behind bars for him?
It depends on the charge. So conspiracy is one of the charges that several of the officers have. If convicted of conspiracy, that's up to
90.
5 years in prison. But some of these deprivation of rights under the color of law,
Camera 1, you'll have a
under
10-second
federal
read.
code, you could spend the rest of your life in prison if convicted. Now, I don't expect that to happen with these cases, but that is the
When we get to
sentence
Stefan,
range
then we'll go back
for
to
some of
dramatic
these charges.
desk.
Okay. Well, the United States Assistant Attorney General said this today about a separate investigation into LMPD. Watch.
Independent
super.
from these criminal charges, a separate team from the Justice Department Civil Rights Division is conducting a civil investigation into whether
Lose
the
super.
Louisville Metro Police Department is engaging in a pattern or practice of law enforcement misconduct. We're looking at whether the LMPD uses excessive force,
Stefan's banner is
improper
blank.
searches, or
Blank
racially
banner for Stefan.
discriminatory policing.
So I guess
You
the
can probably just
question
copy
here
it
is,
over.
what does this
30.
mean for the department moving forward? So Breonna Taylor was one investigation, right?
30
This
away.
Patterns and practice investigation is looking at the department as a whole over a number of years. And ultimately what that could mean is that the Department of Justice could come in and put LMPD under a consent decree, meaning there would
15.
be certain steps they would have to move toward to fix a number of these issues that have come up over the years.
10.
We'll see what happens. That's going to take even more time to get through that patterns and practice investigation.
Stand by. Stand by
Chapter in
1.
this
Stand by
sad
take.
story in our city's history. Thank you, Travis.
Take. Stand by
And today's
6.
announcement did
With-
not come as a surprise to Breonna Taylor's family. WGRB Stefan Johnson explains why they were expecting
by.
the news that caught so many people by surprise.
Take.
Stefan.
Stand by B. Sound. Stand by to lose the name.
And Thursday morning,
Lose the name. Stand by B. Sound with.
some answers and the justice they've been praying for.
Roll B sound take.
Earlier today, I spoke with the family of
E for
Breonna
full
Taylor.
L2.
This
Stand by to
morning,
lose
They were
super.
informed that the Justice Department has charged
Shoot.
4 current
Lose super.
and former
E2
Louisville
L2.
Metro
Sorry.
Police Department officers with
I
federal
think
crimes
She copied it over.
related to Ms. Taylor's death.
I can't think of a Justice Department
Stand by super. Add
being this
Add super.
committed
Anchor
to
1, anchor
civil
2.
rights since Robert Kennedy and the civil rights
Lose
movement
super.
of Martin Luther King and John Lewis. So this is a historic day on every level. Shortly after the indictments and arrests
Add
were
banner,
announced,
thank
Breonna
you.
Taylor's mother,
Stand by
family
X
members,
sound.
and attorneys
Yes.
gathered at Jefferson Square Park in downtown Louisville. Just like they've done throughout the protest, a large group of supporters
Stand by to flash.
showed up to hear what Taylor's family had to say. The mood
Now,
was
when I moved to
mostly
stack to
celebratory,
E4.
but there was also a lot of emotion. Tamika Palmer is Breonna Taylor's mother, and she's typically very soft-spoken.
Stand by
but Palmer
X
and her
sound.
attorney had some
Stand by
hard
2
words
dissolve.
for Attorney General Daniel Cameron.
Relic sound is off.
You don't deserve to be where you are, and you need
Stand
to
by
go.
to lose super.
And if we don't continue to eat him, one of y'all's on the menu
Lose
next.
super. E4 in the stack.
He was dead wrong.
Okay, stand by 6.
It
Clean.
didn't start with him.
Stand by to
He had
add
the
super.
first- He had the right to do the right thing, and he chose not to.
The
Add
federal
super.
government had the guts to do what Daniel Cameron did not have.
Amen.
Lose super.
The malfeasance that the Kentucky Attorney
Stand by
General's
6,
office
stand by.
showed in this case shows that his political career needs to end now.
Take. Stand by
Attorney
3.
Lenita Baker says this is an important step, but it is far from over. She says they'll
Three truck
continue
right,
to
just a little.
fight for justice for Breonna Taylor. With photographer Jeff
Stand by
Gordon, I'm
3,
Stefan
stand by
Johnson,
3.
WDRB News.
Take 3.
Stefan, thank
Stand by
you. LMPD
E3.
Chief
Stand by
Erica
2
Shields
dissolve.
did not speak on camera about today's charges, but she is in the process of terminating Officer Kelly Goodlett and
Dissolve.
Sergeant Kyle Meany.
Stand by
An
camera
LMPD
2. It's a
statement
copy
says,
read.
quote, "It is critical
Camera 2,
that
copy
any
read.
illegal or inappropriate actions by law enforcement
Pedestal up
be
2.
addressed comprehensively
Tilt down.
in order to continue our efforts
Tilt down.
to build police
Hold.
community
Stand by 2.
trust."
Take.
How did we
Stand by
get to
camera
this point,
1.
and
Mark's
what
weather.
happened
Weather
behind
center
those
is next
closed
during the
doors?
animation.
Tonight on WGRB
We'll
News
reset
360,
lights and
Valerie
LEDs.
Chen takes us through a timeline leading to today.
Mark's weather.
Mark
Stand by weather
Wahlberg's
graphics.
WDRB weather forecast.
Okay, we got it. Stand by 1. LEDs if you can.
Meteorological Society.
Out to 1. It's fine. Ah.
National Weather
Leave it,
Service
leave it,
still
leave it, leave it.
watching
Stand by
affect our area
graphics.
today.
Dissolve
Do you think
graphics.
everybody in this area is
All right,
gonna
now
see
turn it
flooding?
on.
I want to be clear. I don't. I think that this watch is for a couple of reasons.
all good.
I think when you look at what's happened in the last 2 weeks here, you really can't fault.
With the light, the desk
a
is still
flood
messed up.
watch, even if
There
this
we
is
go.
lower end. But that said, there is ability for storms to train over the same area and cause some instances of flash flooding. And in that regard, I would have done the same thing and issued this watch through 8 p.m. on Friday. You'll notice as we look right now, it is interesting. You can see a green line that extends from Louisville through the eastern part of Meade County into Breckenridge County and then towards around Grayson County. That little line is what we call an outflow boundary. It should help fire some showers. Taylorsville's got some rain. The boundary's about to come into Louisville, and you can see New Albany, we're already looking at rain. We've got steady rain from English through around Leopold, and then there's scattered thunderstorms that are generating along that boundary from Hardinsburg through just west of Litchfield. Can this get into Louisville? Absolutely. And I think we're going to get some rain on this as we go into the evening. Louisville right
Dissolve.
now, the initial boundary
Stand by
that moved
camera
in
2.
from Corydon moved our temperature down to 81 degrees, but we still have high dew points. The one thing that's important to note here is with these temperatures being a little bit cooler should mitigate severe weather potential on any of these storms. But advanced track shows scattered showers and thunderstorms, and you can see more of these moving towards Louisville overnight. Yeah, I said this yesterday, but I think it's really worth emphasizing one more time. The rain chance over the next 24 hours is substantial. It is not going to rain during that entire time frame. So I've got a 50 to 60% at 7 p.m. We'll lower it a little at 9, and for that next wave at around 11, I'll increase that
Stand by
rain chance.
2,
It's
stand by.
substantial tomorrow, and I'm going to talk about rain totals coming up in about 10 minutes.
Take,
Thank
stand by
you, Mark.
X,
Nearly a year
sound,
after a man
with
was killed in the Portland neighborhood, police arrested the suspect. As WDRB's Lexi Ratterman reports, surveillance video was one of the keys for the investigation.
relics on take.
Bruce Morris
Reset
is
3D.
behind bars
Stand by
after
to lose
police
super.
say he shot and killed a man at a Louisville gas station last
Lose
August.
super.
Surveillance video helped place him at the
Two on a two shot. Two on a two shot is next. Tease is next.
We'll
We'll have a 6:30 tween in the tease. Sound on A and B for the tease.
At Boone's gas station on North 22nd Street near Bank Street. 37-year-old Dante Hutchings died. During the investigation, investigators say they used surveillance video and matched that to Morris's license and previous booking photos
20.
to identify him as the shooter. Someone who knew Morris also confirmed he was the one in the video. When police arrested him yesterday, he had a gun on him illegally since he's a convicted felon. He's charged
10.
for that and
Stand by
murder.
super.
In court this morning, it was very straightforward. He pleaded
Add
not
super.
guilty to the charges and was given a
Stand by
$1 million
2 on a
bond.
2 shot.
Lexi Ratterman, WDRB News.
Take, stand by A, sound, stand by flash.
Flooding reached up to 21 feet.
Release on flash.
You won't believe me.
Stand by VO, stand by B.
I was sitting out here looking at my grass
Stand by Fallon's mic.
and was floating 10 minutes later.
Mike. Stand by to
The water
6:30
is
tween
now
to B,
receding,
sound with
but
the
we
banner.
Look at how quickly people had to jump into survival mode.
Tween.
Plus at 6:30.
Roll B.
As I
Stand by to fade to black, stand by your brake master.
I saw a splatter on my windshield, and I thought it'd start to rain a little bit, maybe a little drizzle. And when I ran the wipers, it kind of smeared a little bit, and I said, well, that's not rain.
And fade to black, roll your brake.